consider the woman of worth in Proverbs 31. She's a mother, a wife, a shrewd businesswoman, a kind and loving leader in her community. She weaves, she spins, she sews, she serves her family and those in need. Yeah, we know she gets up before dawn, but my goodness, how does she do all this? I'm Melanie Rigney, the author of Woman of Worth, Prayers and Reflections for Women, inspired by the Book of Proverbs. The woman of worth has been seen as an almost impossible standard for centuries. We regard her as the same today, and yet there are bits and pieces of her in all of us. In these videos, I'll take a brief look at the verses in Proverbs 31 and explain how we can become closer to the Lord by following her example. She seeks out wool and flax and weaves with skillful hands, Proverbs 31:13 tells us. Now, we know the woman of worth in Proverbs is married and has children. She loves them. She serves them. But she honors the Lord in other ways too. Her vocation is multifaceted, and her service is done with skill and care. Now, when you hear the word vocation, you may think of those called to the priesthood or vowed religious life. But marriage is also a vocation. So is singlehood. The success or failure of our vocation isn't measured by others' judgment of how important we are. We leave that to the Lord. Our role is to listen and to obey, despite the demons who tell us what we do doesn't matter, or that what we do matters more than what the person next to us is doing. As Paul tells us in Romans 12:4-5. For as in one body we have many parts, and all the parts do not have the same function, so we, though many, are one body in Christ, and individually parts of one another. The woman of worth takes her part seriously. She's no slacker. She seeks out the right wool and flax for her work. She doesn't settle. And her weaving is more than a way to pass the time. We know that because she is described as skillful at it. In the same way, carrying out our vocation is not to be done haphazardly. We don't just go through the motions or waste time. We take seriously what the Lord has placed us here to do. To learn more about embracing God and the woman of worth He sees in you, please check out the other videos in this series, or consider buying Woman of Worth, Prayers and Reflections for Women inspired by the Book of Proverbs at your favorite local or online bookstore, or at www.23rdpublications.com.